Folks, I've gone ahead and gotten this last set of wire or strings cut to length, proper length. Like I said in the beginning, this is an 8-strand system. On a 60-pound bow, I like to utilize an 8-strand system. If it's a 45 to 50-pound recurve, you can cut it down to a 7-strand system. However, when it's 60 pounds, 70 pounds, I like to use an 8-strand. If it's 70 or if it's above 70, I'd even feel as tempted to go to a 9-strand. The chances of you shooting a 75 to 80-pound recurve, probably slim to none. However, it does happen. So what I'm going to want to do is take these strings that I had cut previously and kind of just straighten them out a little bit. I don't want them to be all knurled around each other on both sides. Then from that point, I'm going to come down to my shortest strand and move back about 2 to 3 inches. From that point, I'm going to do the same exact thing on my opposite color, and I'm going to try to even these up so they're nice and even. Now from that point, I'm going to go ahead and get these nice and flat with just a yoke position, middle finger going through each one, pinched at this position, and now I'm going to start to braid. So from this point here, I'm going to say twist, bring it around. It's a twist and bring it around. Twist, bring it around. I'm only twisting the top string in my hand. Twist, bring it around. Keep a little tension. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. I'm just going to keep repeating this process, but at the same time, keeping tension on my bottom finger so those strings don't come loose. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. I know that's probably starting to sound monotonous. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. So on and so forth. And just keep bringing it. Now, right now, I'm making my bottom loop. I always like to make my bottom loop a little, before I make my top loop, I like my bottom loop to be smaller than my top loop because the bottom loop is going to remain stationary on the bow. Now, that's about right. That's about all you need to make a bottom loop because I don't want that bottom loop to slip up the limb. So what I'm going to go ahead and do from that point is take my string, wrap it around one of these nails, any one of them will do, while keeping tension on them, and I like to attach my black string to the red wire and my red string to the black wire. For no apparent reason other than cosmetics, I just think it looks a little neater, that's all. And once I have these in the position that I want them, nice and tight, this is where the Flemish twist happens. So I've got them in a position that I like. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll them over to my right hand side, viewer's left. So I'm going to roll both strings. And it's going to start to create this Flemish twist. Now the reason I like to do my bottom loop first is so that if I do have a little bit less string than I would like to have, I can be a little bit more liberal on how I make my top loop. I know some of y'all don't like that word out there. Now from that point, once I get to this point here, and I like that, I'm going to go ahead and switch up to a little overhead hook. I made out some CHHN wire, electrician's wire. And now this is where I really start to getting quick. I'm going to do the same exact process again. Twist, bring it around. Twist, bring it around. So on and so forth. Keep it coming. And all these little staggered strings that I had from my bowstring jig are going to start diving into one another. Now see how neat that looks? I'm just going to keep twisting it on around, ensuring that it's nice and tight. And I'm going to remain doing this. I'm going to keep doing this until all my little stranded wires disappear into this bowstring. Now it's really starting to take shape. That really looks good. Now they've all disappeared, I'm going to go ahead and take my clamp and I'm going to clamp down right about so. If it comes a little undone, it'll be fine. From that point, I'm going to go ahead and take my bowstring wax. I'm going to wax this string up. Just like so. This is going to help lock in some of these twists that you've made. Go ahead and burn that into the fibers. Now some of these little strings that you're seeing hanging off, don't worry about those. We're going to dress it up and make it look fine here after a while. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and burn that in. Alright. Now that I've got that in the position I like it, I'm going to go ahead and take these other strings that I have still remaining, and I'm going to start separating these. I don't want these all bound together when I go to start my top loop. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of go through them, get them untangled, kind of comb them out just a little bit. Believe you me, don't skip this step. You'll really like the finished product if you take the time to go ahead and do this step. And I'm going to do that on both strings, the red and the black. Alright, now that I've got that completed, I'll go ahead and take it off my hook. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put it back on my board where I had it before. I'm going to put it on my front peg. I believe it's my front peg. Yes, it is. Years ago on this board, I made some pre-measurements, and I suggest you do so as well, so that I know exactly where I want my bowstring to finish up. Now, as I said before, I wanted to finish it up at 56.5. Here's my 56 marker right here. So what I'm going to do from that point is I'm going to go ahead and start back here, about 3 inches beforehand. Because when these come over, I want them to come over and be right at 56.5. So this is, we're doing it a couple of times, will come into favor you. So I'm going to start about back here. I think if I start at the position my left hand's at, that'll probably come out just about right. Because like I said, I wanted this loop to be a little bit larger. So I'm going to go ahead and take this black string. About right there. Take this back string, twist it around. Twist it around. Just like so. Twist it around. And with these marks being on this board, it's going to give me the visual reference that I need to make this successful. And I can kind of giveth and taketh however I feel necessary. I saw that that was going to be a little bit too short, so I kind of replaced it the way that I wanted my loop to dive out. It's starting to look a little better. Now that's going to be perfect. That's going to be a perfect finished product. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do just like I had done before. Black on the red, red on the black. I'm going to go ahead and take this back off of my peg. And put it back on my braiding hook that I made. Now years ago when that old man showed me how to make a bowstring, he didn't have a hook. It's something that I developed on my own. Just nice having a third set of hands. Get that braid around itself. All right. Now I can start making my braid again. Now, I was a little long in my 56.5. I didn't do it right on the money. The reason because is in this braiding, you're going to lose a little bit of overall length because you're braiding this string around itself. So like I said, it's not an exact science. It's something that you have to play around with just a little bit. But you'll get the hang of it. I know you will. I'm just going to keep it coming. I'm going to keep it coming. And I'm just about finished up with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and clamp this again. Apply a little bit of bowstring wax on the braided portion. And I'm going to go ahead and burn it in. All right, that's looking really, really good. Let's go ahead and check our overall. Couldn't get any better. That's exactly what I envisioned in my head. Perfect length. Perfect size loop. That's exactly what I wanted. So with that being said, you can see how this loop is just a little bit smaller than this one. That's exactly what I wanted to manufacture. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we come back I'm going to show you how to serve this string.